Hello everyone, I am Gina and welcome to my channel Southern Siren Vintage. So I decided to start doing this little show and I'm calling it Flips and Flops, or Flip Flops, I guess I should say Flip Flops. Um, so I'm going to show you weekly what has sold on my eBay, Mercari, etc. and show you the things that I thought were flips, which were great or good or whatever, and the flops, the things that I really didn't make anything off of. I thought was a good idea at the time, and I ended up not doing so great with them. So, that's the reality of reselling. Not everything you pick up that you think is going to be great is great. So, a lot of people will come out and there's resellers out there that they make it just seem grandiose and wonderful and everything they pick up is worth $1 million and all that. That's not the case, and that's not the truth. A lot of the times we're taking um, offers on items and making it to where we're making a tiny bit or breaking even just to move that inventory out and get liquid. So that's the truth in a lot of cases. There are some resellers out there that, make tons of money and they're doing great. But the majority of resellers are, it's hit and miss for us. So that's the reality. That's the truth. And, I just want to be honest with everybody out there that's considering going into the reselling game. It is a lot of fun, it's interesting, and you can work for yourself, but you've got to know there's going to be, highs and lows in this industry. So we're going to get started. I'm not going to sit here and ramble on for an hour. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and mark that notification bell to all so you will get notified of any new content that I put out there. So that being said, we're going to get started with this. I am going to share with you my eBay sales first for this week. It was an okay week. It's a little slow for me. I haven't been, I need to be listing more than what I am, but I've been so busy I hadn't had much of a chance to do that. So, we're going to get back on top of that. I've got a ton of stuff that needs to be listed. So that's going to be happening all this week. So, first up, let's look at this. A Salvation Army thrift store. I paid $3 for it. I had it listed for 38, but I ended up taking an offer of 30 on it. A lady had contacted me and said she needed it for a birthday gift for her grown daughter, that her daughter had this when she was a child and she wanted to replace it. So I did go ahead and take that offer for her so that she could, have this for her daughter. I thought that was a sweet story. Um, and I still made money off of it, so I was okay with that. I think that was a flip. I think that was good. 3 into 30 is not horrible. You're not going to get rich off of that, but not a bad return. And then next up, we have, sorry, I'm trying to share these screens so I can give you full screen instead of the tiny little ones that nobody can see. Next up, we have this Kurt Adler Polonaise. I put Goft. Typos. See, another reality. Gift present box, hand blown glass ornament. I sold it for $16. I paid $2 for that. So all in all, with fees and everything, I probably made about $10 off of that. Not a horrible flip. I would say that one's good. It's not great, but there was money made. So anytime you make money, that is a positive to me. And then next, I'm trying to go through these pretty quickly. I don't want this to be a very long video. This has been sitting around for a while. So this was not, I would call this a flop. Even though I made money off of it, it had to sit there for a long time for me to make money. So this was an antique 1930s cake carrier tin with the wire closure, the bell kind of closure on the top. It was in rough condition. I knew that when I purchased it. I believe I took an offer of $32 on this, and I think I paid $3 for it. So again, I made money, but it sat for a long time. So when your inventory is sitting for a long time, you're not really making money. Um, so I did take an offer just to get it moved out because I need to get, liquid for these items so that I can go and purchase more things. So I did take an offer on that. I would call that an okay flip. It's not, it wasn't truly a flop, I guess, although it sat for a while. I did end up still making some money off of it, but it was not, something that was a amazing flip. So, and I'm trying to be truthful with you guys and show you. Next up, although it's not a lot of money, I was very happy with this one. I would call this one a winner. This was just a small little container of sewing notions for Barbie dolls. It was vintage. These were from the 60s. And I got this along with several other things. I mean, this was in a box with several other things for $5. There were some zippers that I sold last week in that box as well. I sold those for $12. I sold these for 8. And I have several other listings with, I think I have maybe 8 more listings, no, probably 10 more listings of things from that box. So I'll end up making a good bit on this when these do finally end up selling, but not too bad. It didn't sit horribly, horribly long in my store. So I was okay with that. And, I've already done 20 between this and the zippers off of a $5 box. So I call that a win. I call that a good flip. Even though it's not a ton of money, it was still a good flip for me. And it doesn't take up much room, which is also a positive. I don't like buying big, huge stuff that takes up a lot of room. Okay, so next up, this one wasn't really a great flip for me. I would call it, mediocre. So for $26, and it was this wooden, uh, vintage hand carved wall hanging, um, kind of a Polynesian style, tiki style. The only problem is I paid way too much for it. And I knew I did at the time when I did it, but this was, if you saw my video, this was the little old granny sale that I went to, and I kept buying everything she showed me because, I don't know. She tugged at my heartstrings, y'all. So I paid 6 for it. I sold it for 26. Still not a horrible thing. Again, another mediocre flip. And it didn't have to sit incredibly long, so that's a good thing. Um, when I buy those again, probably not, unless I could get them for like $1, then or two, then I probably would. But I still ended up making a little bit off of it. I made the little granny happy, so I guess that's a win-win, and hopefully my buyer happy. So that's a win-win-win. Okay, next up we have this guy here. I bought several of these. These were the original 1998 Furbies. I bought, oh gosh, I think 4 of these in different colors. One was black, one was like a tiger stripe, all kind of different stuff. Um, I've already sold 2 of these. I have one that I have not listed yet, and one that my daughter's dog got a hold of and destroyed because he thought it was fantastic, apparently. So anyway, I sold it for the full asking price of $18. I paid $3 for it. It was non-working. I took a chance when I bought it because I had no idea if they worked or not. But I knew even in non-working condition, these things will sell because these are the original Furbies and people use them for parts or they fix them. So I thought that was a pretty good flip from 3 to 18. And again, it didn't have to sit forever in my store. Next up, we have this lot of CDs. I did take an offer on this one. I believe $45 is the offer that I took. I originally had it listed for $52, and I paid $10 for this set. So, sorry, my daughter just went out the door and it was very squeaky. $10 for the set. So I did end up making a little bit of a profit on this. I would call this a good flip. Even though I did pay the $10, I still ended up making, around $30 for this sale. So I was really happy with that. I don't normally buy CDs, but these were original sealed in the package, you know, never been open kind of thing. And that's I thought for this amount of CDs for $10, it was not a bad purchase. And I'm very happy with the way it turned out. So, good profit there. Again, did not sit long in my store. So I'm very, very happy with that because I do not like things to sit around forever. And I have a lot of things in my store that have been sitting for a while. So, but I do best offers on everything that I list. So I figure eventually they're going to sell. Somebody will send me an offer and I'll accept it and it will sell. But I don't really go in and take things out that have been sitting there for a while or change pricing or do any of that. Sometimes I'll send offers to interested customers, but other than that, I don't really do a drop in price on those. I've been considering going in and doing like a 15% off of everything that's been in the store for over a certain amount of time. But I figure with the best offer, I don't know. I have mixed emotions on it. I think sometimes people are scared to send you offers. And so sometimes I think that could be a negative to price things and then hope people will send you offers. I don't know. But, I'm not scared to give offers, and I guess other people shouldn't be either. But I guess some people, it may be a little bit too much for them to do that. So maybe I will. Maybe I'll put some things on sale. I've been thinking about that. Okay, so next up, I have this lampshade that I had purchased at a sale. It was in a big lot of things that I had purchased. I got this along with a little lamp. I don't think they really went together. So I separated them out. And I think for the shade and the lamp, I paid probably about $3 to $4 for the set. So, you have to kind of figure how much that equates to for each item. So I'm going to say $2 per item just to make it fair. And I sold this for $17. It did have some damage, as you see, in areas here and there, but I did tell the buyer about the damage and showed it in the pictures. It is an original old lampshade. I loved the shape of it. I like picking things up like this that you don't find every day. And I think that people, there's a certain group of people out there that are looking for this kind of thing. I pick up anything, video games, whatever, CDs, but this is my niche right here, vintage. And so that's the kind of things that I am really attracted to. And, these are things that you can't find just everywhere. So that's why I'm more attracted to these. They are harder to sell. It's a lot easier to sell electronics and things like that, games. A lot of the time, you got to find the right buyer for this. But also, I was the only one that had this, on the site. So to me, it's like it's kind of a lost art at this point. A lot of people have veered away from finding vintage, true vintage, and I want to stick with that as much as possible. But I still got to make a living. So if I have to go in and list things that aren't truly my love, I will definitely do that. But that is my love. Vintage is my thing. So hopefully there's going to be a continuation of buyers out there that want to buy those things. Um, I know my daughter is 20, and she was talking about how her age group now has really gotten into vintage and stuff, which really gives me hope because I was getting scared for a while there that it was just going to be lost once all of us were gone. But it seems like it's picking up speed again, so that makes me very happy. Okay, so next up, I would call this a great find, a great flip. This was a Texas where the confetti melamine or melamine, some people say melamine, mixing bowl, the small 8-inch mixing bowl. I guess that's the medium size. I sold this for $24 and I picked this up for $1. So that was a great flip. And I love picking up this kind of stuff. Shipping is easy on it. You know, you still package it where it's safe, but it's not like glass where you have to be like overcautious. These things ship really nicely, really easily. And I loved the colors in this. I thought it was just beautiful. And again, it did not sit for long. It was a pretty quick flip. So I would call that a flip. That was a good one. You know, we have a lot of flops, but that one was a good one. So if you ever see that stuff, pick it up. Again, it sells pretty quickly, especially if it's in good condition. People are out there looking for it, and you will be able to move it through your store rather quickly. Okay, so next up, I have this little antique crushed velvet purse with a beautiful leaf shaped closure on it there with the rhinestones in it. It was in impeccable condition. It had a little mirror on the inside and a little pocket. Really, really nice condition. And this was a little loop like you would put over a belt or something or over your wrist. And I just thought this was a gorgeous piece. I ended up taking an offer, I believe, of $32 on this one. This was not a great flip. It was a flip, but not a great flip. And I wouldn't call it a flop either. I paid, well, she priced it to me at $5, but I ended up getting a discount on the whole lot of things that I had bought. So we'll say $4 because I don't know how much of a discount went towards that. So, $28 before fees, and the buyer paid shipping on this. I didn't have to. So again, I think that was a good flip. Not a great flip, but it was a good flip, and I'm very happy with it. Plus, I love items like that. Oh my gosh, I just love um, antique things too. Little vintage purses and antique items. I just love finding those things out in the wild, especially when they're in that good a condition. Somebody really loved and treasured that and took care of it. And I'm glad it's going to a new home where it'll be loved and treasured. So, next up, this had been sitting for a long time. This was a huge flop. I am not happy with this one, but here we go. This was a Disney, always a princess snow globe. I had 59.99 on it. I ended up taking 30 on it, and it has been sitting forever. I was glad to take an offer on it because it's been sitting forever, but I am not happy with this one. I will not be picking up. You know, I had bought a lot of Disney stuff and I grabbed this and I probably shouldn't have. I think I paid only $5 for it, but still, I am not happy with the amount of time it sat here. I'm not happy with the amount of packing that it takes to get it moved to the new buyer safely. It was just for me, that was a flop. If I'm going to purchase any snow globes in the future, I'm going to be looking for ones that have their original box and styrofoam, or ones that are just an amazing, amazing seller that will not be sitting around forever. So I call this a flop. I was not happy with it. I did take the offer so that I can move it through my inventory and get it out of here. But, this one I would not purchase again. If it was like a Mickey Mouse something, whatever, I might look into it. I would definitely run comps on it. This was a sale where there was a ton of people. It was all Disney, and people were just grabbing things left and right. So you just had to grab and go. And so I didn't really have time to do much comping while I was there. So this one, not happy with. Would not suggest it to anyone else unless you could pick it up for, $1, $2, and you don't mind sitting on it for a while, or you don't mind listing it at a price that's $20 to $30. So I call that a flop. It's not horrible. It was not a horrible purchase, but one, it's not, snow globes are not my thing, first of all, and they're very difficult. They're difficult to store so they don't get broken. They're difficult to package. It's a lot. So for that kind of return, I wouldn't do it again. Like I said, it would have to be a really high priced one for me to pick them up. I've got a couple of other snow globes that have been sitting for a while, and I'm just I'm kind of out of the snow globe business. Like I said, if I find one that looks amazing at a cheap price and I can comp it right there and see that they're selling, then I'll do it. Other than that, not doing it again. I learned my lesson, but that's part of it too. Okay, so this one, um, I wouldn't say this was a great flip. I'm not super happy with this one. I paid way too much. I have two of these. I paid way too much because I fell in love with it when I saw it, and that's a problem too. As a reseller, you can't fall in love with items. You have to just, subtract yourself from the equation. And even if it's something that you're just like, oh, that's amazing, you have to walk away sometimes. And I didn't walk away from this one because I have been looking for bittersweet in Florida for a while. And every once in a blue moon, you come across a piece. So when I saw this, I had to grab it and I paid way too much for it. I made probably once fees come out, I made nothing off of this. I took an offer of I think $36 on this. Well, I paid 18 for it. So that's not good. This was a flop for sure. Like I said, I have one more of these. I'm probably not even going to list. I'm probably going to keep it for myself because it's just not worth it. The amount of time to package this and everything because it's glass. And once the fees come out and all that, it was just really not worth it for me. And like I said, since I love it so much, I'll just keep the other one. Um, so yeah, that was a flop. Again, you fall in love with items and you pick them up, even against your better judgment, but you do it anyway. Um, but no worries. At least I became liquid in that I got the money back that I had invested in it, so now I can put it towards something else. And I made a couple of dollars profit. So not real happy with that one, but I'm okay with it. Um, and then next, let's see what we have next. This guy. This is the lamp that they had paired with that shade that I showed you earlier. As you see, it does not match at all. I mean, it was the right size and everything because this is a small little boudoir bedside lamp, I guess. This is not glass. This is ceramic, but it's that Art Deco style and with the metal base with the black enameling around the ring of the metal base. It is a very small lamp. And again, I don't even know what I paid for it. I paid like $3 for the two. So I said $2 on the other thing just to be safe. So I guess a dollar on this. Um, I did take an offer for I think $11 just to move it through inventory. It hasn't been sitting long, but I wanted to move it through inventory because it takes a lot of space. And so again, didn't make a killing on this. I wouldn't call it a flop because it did move quickly, but it definitely wasn't a killer thrift, or a killer flip. So next up we have, I believe that was all of my eBay stuff. So let me pull the screen up for Mercari. I haven't done a lot on Mercari. I've just started kind of listing things on there recently. So I've done a lot of cross listing between that and eBay. But I think I still have like 300 items to get into my Mercari store. So that's something else I've been working on. But I did have a couple of sales, which I was kind of a little shocked about that they did move that quickly. And for those of you that don't know that are resellers, I'm sure most of you do if you're a reseller. Mercari has changed up their selling platform to where you as the seller are not paying the fees. So what you list it for, minus your shipping, however you do your shipping, unless if you charge the buyer shipping. I've been not charging shipping in Mercari because they've not been charging the fees. So I pretty much am covering the shipping because that would be about what the fees would be anyway. And so I've started listening to some more on Mercari. So we'll see how that little journey goes. I'm really happy with it right now because this stuff has only been on, for less than a week. So kind of happy with that. maybe a lot more Mercari going on in my future. I've been very pleased with them lately. They've done a lot of stuff for sellers, which is really a positive. They've been kind of looking out for their sellers, trying to get more sellers to come to their platform, I believe, which I really like, that the platform is taking care of us. So this was a pair of mid-century jewel eye Lefton cat shakers. They sell for $28. And again, the $28, I don't have any fees on. This one this is one of the first things I listed on Mercari, and I did actually charge the buyer the shipping on this one. So I did make $28 off of this sale. So that was really good. I paid, oh my gosh, this is a huge cat lot I got. I think I paid a dollar, maybe $2 for this set. So I call that a great flip. I'm really, really happy with that one. So, um, yeah, Mercari's looking good to me right now. Then I went through and I was cross listing a couple of days ago, trying to get my Mercari up to speed because I only had like a couple of items in there. And so, like I said, I got maybe 100 items put into my store in there, um, but I've got to transfer a lot more over. I sold one more thing this week in there with the few items I had actually done, and this one sold in less than 24 hours, which I thought was really good. Um, so it was these cups, these tumblers that I have had for a while. I sold one set on eBay. I had a lot of these. I had bought, I think there was 26 or 28 of them, and I paid $6 for all of them. So, um, I sold one set on eBay for I think around the $30 mark. So a set of 10, and then here was another set of 10 I sold for 27. Now I am paying shipping on this, so it'll probably end up being about $21 that I make off of this. But again, there's no fees, so about $20 to $21. So I would call this a great flip. I have I bought a ton of these. Some of them were cracked. I did end up having to throw them away. I had to go through and check condition issues because these are vintage. And you see on there's some paint loss here and there. But to purchase and get two complete lots of 10 out of for $6, and then to end up selling all of them between eBay and Mercari for, you know, as a profit, I should say, of around $50 to $55, six into 50 to 55, I think is a great flip. So I'll take that all the time, every day, 7 days a week. But anyway, that was kind of my sales. I may have missed a few here and there, but that was the majority of the stuff that I had done this week between eBay and Mercari. I am going to start listing more on Mercari and seeing where that goes. I do have things listed on District, not a lot. I think I have about 10 items listed on District right now, which I need to work on putting a few more on there as well, because the more items you have, the better a chance you get seen. But I haven't had any sales on there. I don't know if it's just because I don't have many items on there, but I haven't had any movement at all. So a little disappointed with that one. But again, there's only so many hours in the day. And if you're a full-time reseller and you're doing it on your own, you know you don't have a lot of time. So between listing on several different platforms, even if you're using some kind of cross-listing tool, you still have to go in and adjust things for each platform, and that takes a lot of time. So between sourcing and listing and researching and cleaning items and, shipping out items and changing prices and accepting offers and, looking at messages, all the stuff you have to do along with run a household, it's a lot. It can be a lot. So I do that on top of, if you guys are new to me, on top of I do live sales here on YouTube as well, um, essentially Monday through Friday. So that's a lot of work that goes into all of that. And like I said, there's only so many hours in the day, and you do as much as you can. But hopefully one day I will get caught up with all of it. That's my goal. That's the light at the end of the tunnel for me. But, I keep going outsourcing and getting more stuff that I add to the pile that needs to be listed. So it's a never ending battle, but I love it. So, anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. And like I said before, if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. And there's no obligation, it is entirely free to you. And I would love to have you join me. And I will be back here live on Monday, Memorial Day. Don't know what I'm doing yet. I was thinking, I don't know. We'll see what happens on Monday. I had a couple of ideas in my head. But anyway, if I don't see you then, I hope you have a very wonderful holiday weekend. And let's remember those that have served this country on Memorial Day. It touches my heart quite a bit. It's a special place to me. And let's please remember that as we're celebrating that what the true meaning of this holiday is and what it's about, and keep those people in our thoughts and prayers and memories, and the people that have lost people. So have a wonderful, wonderful holiday weekend, and go out there and be kind and stay safe. It gets dangerous on the holidays. Stay safe, and as always, be blessed. And I will see you guys the next time. Bye everyone, and thanks for watching.